All right, so we got settled pretty quickly, but just wanted to say good morning. It is so good to see you guys. I'm very excited to be here, and I represent Convoy of Hope, which is a faith-based humanitarian aid organization out of Springfield, Missouri. And my name is Alyssa Killingsworth. I found out 48 hours ago that I would be in Fargo, North Dakota, and let's just say I had to pull all of my biggest sweaters out of my closet. One of my colleagues got sick, Ashley Jonas. I'll speak to her a little bit later, but I just wanted to say that you guys are important. Convoy of Hope is so excited to be partnering with you guys. And I grew up on a farm in central Missouri, so a row crop operation, and then also grew up in the Missouri Farm Bureau family. So my background is on the farm, as well as my education is in, my degrees are in plant science. So this is a topic near and dear to my heart. Found myself at Convoy of Hope about 4 years ago, doing humanitarian aid. So a lot to pack there in my story, but we're here to thank you guys and for inviting us to be here. And I saw the importance of representation and being here in person because I'm going to be here all day. So I would love to talk to you and explain a little bit about our partnership and what we're excited about. Also, Thoric Cedarstrom is incredible. You guys have a huge advocate on your side, and that was a lot of information, and he was exactly correct in all things. So as I said that on record, so hopefully he doesn't hold me to that always. But if you guys have questions about anything that Thoric was talking about, please let me know. I'm happy to sit down and talk through some of those challenges, what we're excited about, the priorities. Like Mitch said this morning, when you talk about your priorities for your association, good stewards and being a voice was at the top of your list. And I think that we can align with you guys on that in Convoy of Hope. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit about Convoy this morning to pique your interest, and I'm just going to tell you a couple of stories. But first and foremost, our founder, Hal Donaldson, started Convoy about 29 years ago. And we are in the crossroads of America, like we like to say. And it started out with groceries in the back of a pickup truck. He had the opportunity as a journalist. His career was going really well, but he sat down with Mother Teresa. Yeah. And while he was interviewing Mother Teresa, she kind of looked at Hal and said, "Now, Hal, what are you doing for the poor?" And he couldn't lie. He said, I don't think I could lie to Mother Teresa. So he said, "Not a whole lot." And from that day forward, Hal kind of dedicated his heart to serving those most vulnerable around the world. So from the back of a pickup truck, giving out groceries in neighborhoods around the U.S., we have now grown. We're serving around 500,000 kids a day in our strategic school feeding program in over 30 different countries. Since that time in 1994, we have distributed over $2 billion worth of GIK, so gifts in kind, and we've served over 200 million people, which is really exciting. And I just say that story because I think for all of us, it's hard to tie ourselves to that huge global impact. But each of you guys have a story to tell, and you can be a part of it. Cool, this works. Thanks, team. So this is our new global World Distribution Center in Springfield, Missouri, and I just bring this up because you guys are invited. If you're ever in town, if you're ever around Missouri, we'd love to show you. We went from a warehouse just 3 years ago with 8 loading docks to now we have over 34. So our capacity has grown exponentially. We'll have a global headquarters. There's a picture here and then a rendering of what that will look like. But we hope to be a global resource center. So organizations like yourselves can come and meet with people like Thoric, with USDA, with USAID, and collaborate on how we can serve together and maximize our impact around the world. More on that, just in general, Convoy of Hope has a couple different initiatives. So one of those, I work on our global program team. We have our children's feeding, women's empowerment, and agriculture, but we also do domestic work as well. So we have rural initiatives and large-scale community events. And I wanted to just show you some pictures of what that looks like. So with our partnership with Northarvest Bean Association and with our partnership with Central Valley Bean Cooperative, and I'm making sure I say your names right because it's incredibly important to us, we're gonna show you a video a little bit later. But within our children's feeding program, Thoric spoke to nutrition and cultural context and diet diversity on the ground, when we look at food security around the world, things are pretty dire right now. I mean, there's crises and conflict, supply chain disruptions, so it can look a little bleak, but because of you guys and organizations like yourselves and farmers, we're able to provide impact and feed kids around the world. So here's a couple of pictures of what that looks like. And beans are huge to our kids in our school programs. So when you look at a meal kit and there's rice and fortified beans or fortified vegetables and things like that, you know what the kids ask for in our Latin American countries? Beans. We want more beans. They love the taste. It's what their parents cook at home. It's relevant. It's nutritious. It's so packed with nutrients that they love it so much. Also, one of our programs is agriculture. So when you talk about emergency feeding and bringing relief supplies into the community, we don't want to just leave it there. We want to make sure that we're giving a hand up, not a hand out. So we believe in holistic community development. And when I stand here today, I don't just represent our global headquarter team here in the United States. We have almost 200 staff all around the world who are local to those countries and working towards food security and sustainable livelihoods. So agriculture, we provide education and training in school gardens. We do large-scale cooperative farmer trainings. We meet the needs of those communities to make sure that what they are hoping for in education and access and availability is there. We want to make sure that they're sustainable and growing, not just providing those meals every single day, but so that at the end of a certain amount of time, Convoy can leave. Convoy of Hope can exit that community and they can continue to thrive on their own. And for U.S. farmers like yourselves, and Thork spoke to this, when we can build relationship and give them the resources, the education, the training, they're going to want to grow more beans. They're going to partner with businesses and organizations out of the U.S. who are there to help them with a hand up. So we're hoping to build that relationship and provide that opportunity. Women's empowerment is also very near and dear to my heart as well. So our women's empowerment programming, we have economic empowerment and family health empowerment. So when we talk about economic empowerment, it's financial groups, savings groups, it's curriculum on how to create a business and also work to provide sustainability in the home. We've also found that when you empower a woman, you not just empower her, but also her family and her community. So one of those stories is Erica. She's up here on the screen, and she's from El Salvador. And we actually did a big story on her, and she asked us to do it at Convoy. She said, I want to tell my story. I want to encourage and empower other women. So I'm just going to tell you that really quickly. When we go into our schools where we're doing feedings and trainings and engaging with kids, sometimes when you ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they don't have an answer. They don't know. They don't know what their opportunities are. They don't know what they're excited about. They don't know where their passions are. So we really hope and work towards giving them the education and supporting them to learn what that might be. But specifically for Erica, she had a daughter, and her husband left her quite quickly afterwards. So she ended up having to clear trash on the side of the roads to make ends meet, and her daughter was strapped to her chest. So if you can imagine a busy highway or a busy road and cleaning up just trash and dirt and debris, that was her life. Until she met with a Convoy of Hope representative through her local community and started going to our economic empowerment classes. So she was able to learn about skills and leadership and finances, and because of that, she was able to start her own cosmetology practice. She does hair and nails, and over time she's trained even more women. And she now has a practice out of her home. So her daughter is safe going to school. She can pay for her school dues. And she's training other women in her community, which is boosting the economic status. So all this story to say, her daughter, Gretchen, I asked her, I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because I got the chance to sit down with them. And she said, I want to be a cosmetologist like my mom. I want to be a vet. And I want to be a parachute jumper. So not only one thing, but three things, which is pretty incredible when you talk about impact around the world, especially in homes and families. One other thing you might know Convoy of Hope about us is our disaster services team. So we respond to international and domestic disasters. We have a fleet of about 35 really incredible trucks that will roll out for tornadoes, floods, all sorts of hurricanes, anything going on in the communities here domestically where we can show up and offer resources. So that looks like water, food, tarps, immediate needs that are met, but also we have chainsaw rigs. So moving debris and getting homes cleaned up. So you might see us that direction for our disaster team, but also internationally, we respond to crises as well. So we have teams all across the world that will respond to crisis situations. And here we have a mobile packing center going on. So we have trained and equipped churches all across the US as well as globally, so that when disaster hits, we're there, we're meeting the needs, and we're able to provide immediate relief, but also recovery. And that's really, really important to us. Thoric mentioned the Ukraine war. We have been engaged with that crisis situation from the very beginning. And I wanted to tell you this story because we actually worked with some corn growers out of Missouri who were able to send food, corn, in containers to the Ukraine crises. So that was immediate impact. We have now sent almost 300 containers to the Ukraine. So we're able to have warehouses all across the border and work within the churches and local stakeholder groups to get the food directly to the families in need. And that is a direct impact that each and every single one of you in this room has the ability to be a part of. Just a couple more slides. One other thing that we're really excited about is at our new World Distribution Center site, we're going to have a Center for Agriculture and Food Security. And this year we had our first project with USDA called the Farmer to Farmer program. Not sure if any of you guys are familiar, but it's taking US expertise into foreign countries to provide education and training opportunities. And this year we were in the Bahamas. I know, right? That's such a bad gig. I mean, I had to email people and say, hey, would you be willing to go to the Bahamas? Don't delete, this isn't spam. So in 2019, Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas and devastated their islands. I mean, just flattened buildings, homes, churches, grocery stores, farms. And we have been there ever since. So right after Dorian, which is 2019, what happened? COVID. So when you look at a nation or those islands that depend on the economic income from tourism, what happens when we're stuck at home? There was nothing coming in. So they found themselves that they were very food insecure and needed help. And the help of that was not pushing more food their direction. Of course, that helps keep them fed and make sure that they have energy, but it's training. And they really, really wanted educational training in agriculture. How do they grow their own food? And this is at the backyard gardener, home kitchen level, all the way up to commercial growers. So we partnered with MU Extension, and we sent agronomists, which I've met some of you in the room, and I know you're here, sent them to the islands to do 2 weeks worth of training, and this model worked really well. We were able to train over 509 farmers last year, which was awesome. Huge, it was huge for us. But that model we wanted to pilot, now we know that it works. So we work in over 30 different countries around the world, in Europe, Africa, Latin America, Eurasia, and we want to keep doing it. So I mentioned that to you guys, so if you have any interest in going around the world and maybe using your skills to train others, they're ready. They're ready for you guys, and we're happy to help facilitate that. Ooh. Okay, this is my colleague, Ashley Jonas. So she really wanted to be here with you guys today, but she unfortunately fell ill and was not able to make the flight. But I'm here to represent the Grow to Give campaign. And so that is bulk raw food commodity procurement. Beans. We have started with beans. They're at the top of our list because our kids want them, and our teams around the world ask for them. But right behind here is a picture of Ashley standing on one of our amazing farmers who partner with us, an individual farmer, I might add, and that sign says this field is donated to feeding kids with Convoy of Hope. So that was the first sign in one of our first fields that a farmer donated last year. So really, really incredible work. We're really excited about it, and I'm happy to answer any questions on that? And with that, just want to say thank you again for letting me stand up here and tell you a little bit about what we do at Convoy of Hope. I want to learn more about what you guys do, what you're passionate about, what questions you have. So thanks again for having me. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Eric, and we're going to learn a little bit more.
Again, thank you, Alyssa. That was a great representation of what Convoy of Hope is. Maybe at this time I'll turn to David, and David, maybe you can explain Central Valley Bean Cooperative, how they got involved with Convoy of Hope and what it means to your growers.
Yeah, thank you. We got involved with Convoy of Hope through Northarvest. Mitch had approached us about helping for some pinto beans for basically food aid to Guatemala and wherever else they were going, and I said, yeah, that would be an awesome idea. And he'd kind of mentioned maybe we should try and put a video and some stuff together and kind of show what we're doing, just kind of let everybody know that how this works. And it turned out to be an excellent situation. I mean, it worked out great for everyone.
Yeah, I think it was, well received from our board too, when we were asked to go participate. We got together at Central Valley, a group of us board members. We filmed a video along with trying to emphasize the importance of this endeavor. So I don't know, Jed, if we're ready, if we want to roll that video now, Mitch, or how we're sitting.
Can I add one more note to that?
You bet.
Because Ashley would love for me to say this. I'm on our program team, so I apologize. But for the logistics of this, our supply chain is huge. So we have trucks, semis that are dedicated to coming and picking up product from your door, ensuring that our reputation and you can trust us to get it to those kids who need it most. So this was one of our first pilots as Convoy of Hope to do this. So for you guys to partner with us was incredible. And it was very cool to have a camera crew go from, the farm to picking up those beans to our warehousing and then to the schools in Guatemala. And that's what you guys are going to see today, which is really exciting.
Right. We when we got talking about this collaboration, we're using the term 60,000 meals. Guatemala and Honduras was where majority of this aid went, and 60,000 meals is a huge around the world for something like us. So again, thank you for initiating this, and are we ready for the video, Mitch or Jed?
One of Convoy of Hope's core values is partnership. Convoy believes wholeheartedly that we can do more together than we can do apart. And with 848 million people not having enough food to lead normal lives, we have to work together to make real-world change. So when groups like Northarvest Bean Growers Association and Central Valley Bean Co-op join us to help vulnerable people around the world, it literally changes lives.
I'm Mitch Coulter. I'm the Executive Director for the Northarvest Bean Growers Association. Our project, we have partnered with Convoy of Hope and Central Valley Bean Co-op, and our idea is to proof of concept that dry edible beans fits into the food aid market, and we want to see pinto beans arrive in Guatemala and Honduras. We're talking 60,000 meals with this project. In addition, there's the ability to show the federal government, who purchases a lot of our beans for goodwill, that this is a nutrient-dense product that we can get into the marketplace in large volumes and be able to help people all over the world.
A food aid program such as this, using good protein source, that's going to be more important as the world seeks a better protein source, and I believe the dry edible beans fit that. And then when you move them into a third world country, so to speak, like Honduras, it's a benefit for those people to have a good quality of protein.
Beans are a great food to be used throughout the world because it's nutrient dense, it is easily to be transported, shippable, it is high in fiber, high in protein, high in folic acid, it has B vitamin complex, and just such a great superfood that can sustain people on a small quantity. Very good shelf life. depending on the country you're going to, but for the most part, very stable that way as well. It can be consumed with other food groups. It makes it a good portion to be in your diet. It is a great opportunity to have Northarvest work together with Convoy of Hope to provide beans to countries that are in need of food. So we have the opportunity to work with Central Valley, who has that network that can pass these beans from North Dakota, Minnesota region to wherever they need to go throughout the world. People want to see that their products are going to places that need the food. We have so much abundance here in the upper Midwest, and know that there's places throughout the world that are not as fortunate as we are.
Food security in some of these third world countries is playing a big role in their quality of life. And I think if we as dry bean growers that produce a very good quality product can move it to a third world country, it's going to benefit them. And for us, you know, it just makes our job of growing beans just that more thankful, or fulfilling, I should say.
This is something that it's a personal choice for people, but we see that there's a need for something, and the feeling that you can have of helping others who are less fortunate than yourselves, you know, it just gives you a blessing to know that you're making a difference in their lives. It's going to be a marked difference that might be the difference between life and death, or being able to have a longer lifespan than before.
If we get the opportunity like this to help people and promote our product, we got to go with it. We got to do everything we can to make it work, because really this is what our industry is all about. We got a shelf-stable, healthy product that is just good for people. And so when we get the opportunity to help and promote, and by promoting, we're not just promoting something for us. We're promoting, you know, a healthy lifestyle of food, and we're teaching people how to get that product to somebody that needs it. And so I would encourage anybody, when we get the opportunity, to reach out and see what you can do to get it done.
Convoy of Hope allows farmers to donate beans that can go to a food aid effort. We strongly recommend trying to look into this program, and Convoy of Hope is a great partner that we really want to continue this relationship into the future on building out donations of beans.
We are so grateful for partnerships like this one that make Convoy's work possible. Northarvest Bean Growers Association, thank you for purchasing multiple truckloads of pinto beans from Central Valley Co-op and donating them to help feed vulnerable children. You've chosen to be part of the solution, and on behalf of the people you've helped, thank you. For everyone else who's watching, we would love to partner with you as well to take crops that might otherwise go to waste and feed people who aren't sure where their next meal is coming from. You too can harvest hope in your very own fields, and we would be honored to join you. Our goal is to make it as easy as possible to donate bulk commodities to support Convoy's work around the world. Our very own Ashley Jonas would love nothing more than to connect with you about this opportunity. If you've seen or heard anything that's piqued your interest, send Ashley an email at ajonas@convoyofhope.org. That's ajonas@convoyofhope.org. Thank you for dedicating your entire lives to feeding people. It might be your livelihood, but it's also your legacy. We are thankful for the sweat equity you've invested in our beautiful country. Now, let's go feed more hungry people together.
Well, excellent. That was the first time I've seen that video too, and it turned out very nice. I mean, that was a real fun event to be part of. And maybe I'll just turn again to David. You know, now that you've been a part of this, working with Convoy of Hope, do you see doing it again? Was there enough interest in it, and what do you see going forward around food aid and maybe something with Convoy of Hope?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something that we're going to continue to build on. We already do some food aid efforts in different avenues. We probably ship out like a truckload a week, plus or minus, that goes for food aid for, you know, nonprofit, you know, Christian ministries, things like that. And it's just an awesome thing to be given back. You have to give back, and it works really well. It is the Convoy of Hope has a awesome setup with their logistics team and all of the things. It's really smooth, and we all know that logistics haven't been smooth lately, and they made that a real nice transaction.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll turn to Alyssa too. You know, working with bean growers in northern Minnesota, what was your perception of it, and how did it go for Convoy of Hope?
It was excellent. So this is the Grow to Give campaign is new for us. And coming from a farm myself and seeing the gap in conversation, I was like, man, we need to talk to farmers. You guys already feed the world. You already do it. So this is just trying to build relationship and give you the opportunity to meet needs around the world. And working with you guys was a dream. And I know that Ashley wants to continue growing this relationship. So any questions that we can answer for you guys, please let me know. We're excited. And you're invited to Missouri. It's a little bit warmer there.
Okay, thank you. Well, I'll just entertain. Is there any questions from the audience you'd like to know a little bit more about Convoy of Hope or what Central Valley Bean Co-op's doing on behalf of Food Aid? Okay. Well, again, I thank you both for being a part. I'm sure, Alyssa, you're going to be around all day if somebody wants to visit about what Convoy of Hope has to offer and where they're going. Again, thank you, David, for being here.
Thank you.
Can we give a round of applause for that video? Because you guys were amazing in that.
Perfect face for radio.